Welcome back to AM Northwest. Our next guest is the woman behind some of the biggest children's shows like Blue's Clues and Super Why. Her new book shares advice she's learned from working with children. We welcome to AM Northwest the author of Life Clues, Unlocking the Lessons to an Exceptional Life, Angela Santomero. Good to have you with us, Angela.
Thank you so much for having me.
You know, your background is incredible, but I've got to find out, you talk about this in the book, how you became involved in producing children's shows, and really good ones.
Oh, thank you. I'm a researcher at heart, so I have a child development background from Teachers College, Columbia University, and kind of came to TV to educate kids as much as possible. Can we put the very best curriculum into shows for kids? And so Blue's Clues was my first game show. Really, kids were learning from that interactive format.
And you actually were very influenced by Mr. Rogers. So tell me about what he did for you.
You know, I was that 4-year-old who couldn't sit any closer to the TV when he was on. I spoke with him. And so as I got older and I did Blue's Clues, I talked about him being the first to really look at the camera and engage the kid audience and respect them and not talk down to them. And so we became friends from that connection over the years. And then when he passed, his team asked if I would do anything to promote his legacy. And so Daniel Tiger's Neighborhood was born.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense. That's awesome. And you say that you've learned a lot. So unlocking lessons to an exceptional life. So tell me about some of the things that you've learned. One I like is I like you just the way you are, that you bring up that Mr. Rogers said.
Yes, exactly. That meant so much to me as a little kid to hear those words. And as adults, and my children are now adults, they need to still hear those words. And so the book is a collection of all of the things that have been researched and tried and true strategies for disappointment, for anger, for self-worth. And there's still things that I believe we all need as adults today.
You know, one of the things that you talk about is making sure that you talk to children as you would talk to another adult. And that was really kind of hard for some kids show producers to even think about, right? They were treating kids as beneath them.
Yeah, exactly. I love that the idea that we're respecting kids. We might not give them all the information that we would give to adults. We only answer the questions that they ask. But we're talking to them with respect, we're leaning in, and we wait for them to answer us.
What does it mean to have that connection with Blue's Clues that you created? Because you worked with incredible people.
Oh, that family was amazing, and everyone really believed so strongly to this day of that mission and vision. And so to have that was just amazing, and to be able to play again for the new Blue's Clues and You in that sandbox was amazing. It was wonderful.
And I also understand too that Mrs. Rogers, Joanne, was really, really impressed with you and very proud of what you did for his memory.
Yeah, I love her. She is the sweetest and so smart and wonderful. And so we had lovely conversations about his work, about her work, about their love of music. And so we were able to use a lot of his library of music to inspire us for Daniel Tiger's Neighborhood.
You say in your book to look for the clues, and some of them are, for instance, one is take a moment.
Yes. So that idea that we need to, like, I call it sometimes the add to cart strategy. It's like just taking a moment to breathe, taking a moment before we buy something, taking a moment before we say yes to everything and overstimulate ourselves, right? It's like just taking a moment. And that's kind of the cornerstone of what I do in the shows as well, right? It's like I take a moment, or at least we write in for Steve and Joe and Josh to take a moment before they continue their conversation, right? That attentive listening is so, so important.
Always try to find something good. I love that one.
Yeah, I think, when you're disappointed and frustrated, and all of us have been that for so many years, and the idea that we can literally turn it around and find something good about everything, hopefully, that would be the goal anyway, is to continue to look for that silver lining if possible.
You also have things that are just really practical, which is, one is you cultivate routines.
So important for my own self-worth, in that sense of I have a specific kind of, you take a moment for the coffee in the morning. If you're tired, you can take a little bit of a rest, just kind of taking care of ourselves as much as possible. It's so interesting to me that preschoolers, we do this for them. We do this for little ones. And then we don't do it for ourselves, literally asking for what we need and being able to take that time.
You were able to tell Mr. Rogers and Mrs. Rogers how much the show meant to you as a child, and then go on and produce shows in his honor, really. Now you must have generations of kids coming and saying the same thing to you. Thank you for producing the show. It was my friend when I was a child.
Yeah, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. I think, Steve and Joe and Josh really do get a lot of that love and adoration,
Yes.
and they share it with us all the time. And it makes me so happy. Yeah.
What is the best part? What is
why we do it.
Yes. What is the best response that you've heard from someone that watched the show, and maybe even a parent who has their children watching it? Could change parents too.
I think so many things. Some of my favorites are that they can feel the love coming through the show,
Wow,
which
yeah.
is like probably my favorite thing to hear, because it's true. You can really feel that energy. And then just that it's helpful. Like I've had a 4-year-old mother tell me that the 4-year-old was tugging on her, doing the mad strategy to ask her mom to take a deep breath and count to 4,
Wow.
and I was just like,
Oh,
the
wow.
best.
I'm curious, what would you say to the little Angela as she's watching TV and watching Mr. Rogers right now?
Yeah, don't make me cry. I think that the idea that she would want to know that Mr. Rogers actually told her that he was proud of her.
Yeah.
Knowing that at 4, all the way up until how old I was when I finally did hear that from him, I think that would have been amazing, right? She's so excited, I know.
Yeah. Incredible. We want to tell everyone the book again is titled Life Clues, Unlocking the Lessons to an Exceptional Life. Angela, thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
We'll be right back with more AM Northwest. Don't go away.